why don't you, while I'm adjusting the camera angles, tell us about, and I wish we got into this a little bit sooner. You have quite a story to tell us. So why don't you tell us?
Yeah, for sure. Even before the show, there was I know y'all were talking, and I was like, I'm going to not say anything and see what y'all's reactions are to kind of like vibe it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did have an blind date situation March of last year. So I was...
Can you put the mic on the ground?
Go ahead. So I had a blind date situation March of last year. I was dealing with a lot of mental health issues. I was off my medication, on all kinds of drugs, alcohols, not feeling good at all. And for me, like, I always liked, quote unquote, going out and like dating and just kind of seeing how the vibes are. But I was so like lonely and just wanted to see how it goes. And I moved to Vegas to pursue my music career. That's what drove me to go to Vegas. And I had a friend that was living there. I had a job, so everything was great. But so I go on this blind date, and I had a manic episode. So it ended up being unfortunate circumstance. I was charged with attempted murder. And so my case is closed now, but I've done everything in my power to improve on it. I seek mental health treatment. I see my doctors regularly. I work. I do a lot of different community work, service. And earlier I said I was an author, which is kind of why I wanted to share that as well. I recently published an autobiography. It is called Who is Nika Nikubin, A Bloody Las Vegas Hotel Story. So that's where I talk mostly about my journey, moving from around the United States, as well as what really happened in Vegas, because I'm not sure if you Googled my name, but there's some perceptions in the media that I don't think they've done it justice or provided like context for everything that was accurate. So I wanted to share my own true narrative and kind of like talk about mental health, because I think everybody on some level has had like some kind of, problems in the past, or like for me, I've had like a bipolar and schizophrenia. So a lot of people have different perceptions of it, and being off your medication with those conditions is kind of like, not very good. So that's kind of where I talk about more in my book, about the hallucinations and the delusions I had. But I'm super thankful that, I actually had my book signing in Barnes & Noble this Saturday. So it was a super good turnaround. And if you have any questions, would love to see what y'all want to chat about.
We pulled up, we have some of the news articles ready to go. So, and I have some questions for you. Go ahead, Nick. So this was in the New York Post. College student who stabbed her blind date in revenge for U.S. killing of Iranian commander gets probation. So you got, was it 30? And what were the initial charges?
I was initially charged with attempted murder, two counts of battery, and burglary of a business.
Burglary of a, okay, I didn't know that. What did you plead down to?
2 counts of false imprisonment.
2 counts of, okay. So the initial charge the big one was attempted murder.
Yeah.
And that carries, my understanding, in Las Vegas, in Nevada, 2 to 20 years of potential prison sentence.
Correct.
They can also reward, my understanding, I didn't know this, they can also reward probation for attempted murder in Nevada. But that's the range, the potential punishment, anywhere from 2 years on the low end to 20 years incarceration. Pull up the news article really quick. Okay. So here, why don't we go to the next tab? Is this, oh, wait, zoom out. So you were arrested. You got arrested.
Right, yes.
Nick, can you go back?
Yeah.
Can you zoom out a bit?
Not my favorite picture.
Okay, this is your mug shot. Good times.
Yeah.
Good.
Was this on the night that you were arrested?
Correct, yes.
And then there's a little video that we're gonna just watch that will help us. Next tab, I think it should be. Oh, full screen, Nick. Full screen. Come on. Can we go smaller? Is there smaller for us?
Yeah, do you want to go videos tab?
Oh yeah, video tab, please. Can you make us smaller? Okay.
I
have to do... Here, just put us in the corner.
Okay. Is there like a build-up to this?
Yeah, just press... Hold on, press...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, press play.
I guess out of spite of revenge.
What do you mean by that? Like, why are you?
Just in general, like, I mean, the U.S. killed Soleimani. That's a blood spill. So I feel like it's fair if an American. Like, I don't know. I just felt like somebody in American soul should die.
Hide us. Hide the camera. Hide the camera. Just so we... No. Go to video.
Sorry.
Just hide us so we can read this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, play it. You were charged with attempted murder and 2 counts of battery, and you were on house arrest. Okay, go ahead. Bring us back. So that must have been quite the ordeal for you.
Right, for sure, yeah.
So give us the backstory. Okay, you matched with a guy on a dating app, correct?
Yeah, correct.
You're on...
We've never met before.
You never met before,
Yeah.
just totally random guy. Were you just in Vegas for a couple days, just to
No,
party?
I actually moved there. I wanted
you were living there, okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to pursue my music career. I was already working there.
Okay.
I already had contacts with DJs,
Yeah.
voice lesson people, and that was my optimal goal. I didn't move there intentionally to cause harm, but I had a lot of mental health issues, and I was off my medication, and given a lot of context that I provide more in my autobiography, I was able to kind of provide more context for the situation. But if you have any more questions, I would love to answer.
Well, so you're, at least what you told the officer when he was interviewing you, you told him that you wanted to get revenge because the U.S. had, they assassinated, what was his name?
I don't want to repeat his name, but I do.
Okay.
I do understand what you're saying.
Well, you wanted to get revenge because the U.S. had it was like an Iranian general or something.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, was that actually the case? Were you in you said you were manic?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is the video. I'm not denying what I'm saying.
Right.
But
you said you were going through some mental health issues, so I'm just trying to
For sure. Yeah, so I was interviewed by multiple different doctors that my attorney recommended, as well as the state's doctors, forensic psychologists, a lot of different people and just experts that made the conclusion that basically what I was saying is gibberish, and it wasn't, honestly, he has a very negative perception of what I believe in, and I never supported him. I never want to support him, anything like that. But when you're in a manic state of point, and I describe that more in my book as well, you have a lot of specific delusions and hallucinations that feel super real to you, and you're not able to comprehend what's real and what's not, which is why I really like these red and blue pills in the Matrix.
Nice.
Do you listen to Kanye?
Yeah, I listen to Kanye sometimes, but
this girl.
I'm not sure how that relates.
You were aware you were manic?
No, Yay is about bipolar, being bipolar.
Yeah.
The album Yay.
I actually kind of really like that song.
Right?
Are you bipolar?
No.
Okay. So let's see here.
For manic, I mean, I describe it in different interviews as well, but I really thought I was playing a role in a movie, I was playing different scenes.
Yeah.
For example, we had a car ride conversation, we had certain discussions, and, nothing against him, but because I was so, manic and already off my medication, and these medications are, they're antipsychotics, so when you go cold turkey on them, it's way worse than not taking them, so it was, kind of hard with that as well. So anything he said honestly just made me angry inside. And for example, whenever we were in the casinos, whenever I would see the slot machines, it would be it would cause me to have head fog and kind of I don't know what's the best way to describe it, kind of like paparazzi, with the lights and everything.
So did this manic episode that you have, did it last only throughout the day, or was it a couple days?
Honestly, I was manic probably the whole time I moved there, 2 weeks before, and I didn't get complete clarity until 3 weeks after I was in jail, which is why I had a competency hearing to make sure that I was mentally stable to stand in trial.
Okay.
Okay. And so, let's see. I don't know.
I know it's a lot of information.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, you
yeah.
provided something in your pre-show notes to us, which I don't know if because I feel like this is there's a lot of gravity to this situation, so I don't know how, but you said that when the police were interrogating you, you had I can't believe I'm actually saying this, you had a butt plug in, and you asked multiple times to remove it, and they said no while they were...
That's very true, yes.
Okay. Wait, did that clip show...
They didn't report on it, but it was like on the like complete video coverage that was like on the case, but they didn't release it.
Okay.
So.
And so you had...
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $100. Gentlemen, remember, thou shalt carry concealed with one in the chamber, and do not date above a 6. Crazy feel like the slick Persian is probably rethinking that sisterhood comment from earlier.
No.
Neela, any thoughts on that?
I'd still protect her.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
You wrote a book about it. I
Yes.
think you mentioned. How many copies has it sold?
Every book signing I've had, we've sold out all the books. So
Okay.
About 50 copies in a day.
Did the guy sue you?
No, he actually, like, at the sentencing, which is like the last court hearing, where I apologized and was able to express what was going on mentally more to the judge, coming from zero criminal background and everything with my education and my family. And he forgave me, and he actually said he didn't want to pursue charges. And, you know, that kind of gave me a sense of relief. Obviously, I'm going to regret the situation for the rest of my life. I don't have a time machine. Sorry,
Sure.
I don't. But it did kind of put me at ease knowing that he did forgive me in the end. So I think that left at a very positive note.
Did you have to pay any restitution to him?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I don't pay any restitution to him, but I do have to pay for my probation and
Right.
court fees and everything like that.
Okay. So I don't know if you really, because I had to step away there. I don't know if you really explained kind of, so you met him on this dating app, you guys met up at the hotel, you guys proceeded to start having sex?
Yes.
Or was he tied up?
So before he even picked me up, we already had like conversations on Snapchat and text messages, and he was really into experimenting, and he told me he liked some female domination. And
Okay.
you know, with Gen Zers like me, I love experimenting. Why not? You know, some men are into it, some not. Some girls want to do it, some not. You know, you never know. So he was okay with like using sex toys, a blindfold, and you know, I have those conversations, and given that perspective, I think it kind of provides a layer of context of the situation as well. Obviously, I don't think having a kink of stabbing somebody in the middle of sex during the night is definitely not something that should be acceptable.
Where did you
Obviously,
stab
in the neck.
Did you go into the date with that notion that you were going to hurt him?
Is that your phone?
No.
Can you just
No.
clear it off the table and move that mic into the corner, please? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I didn't have any preset notions, but again, I was in a very bad mental state of point, and you know, I described those specific delusions and hallucinations, but unless you do have those specific conditions like bipolar and schizophrenia, it's very hard to say it. I would look at a sky, for example, the sky is blue, but if somebody who is hallucinating see the sky as pink, and they're like, oh, the sky's blue, and you're like, no, the sky's pink, I 100% believe that.
Did that video, I was kind of focusing on something else. The video that we showed, did it show the weapon? Did it show the weapon in that video?
so.
The pink knife? Did I send the wrong video?
I'm not sure.
Did you bring your own knife or?
Who called 911?
Hold on.
He was tied up.
We both
whatever.
called 911.
I thought, did I send the wrong fucking video? No, I have it right here, the pink knife. Is it in the video? Yeah. Oh, can you pull it up really quick? This is the weapon.
Correct.
Okay. That you used to stab him.
My neck's starting to hurt.
Chill out,
sorry.
Tiff.
It was for protection, honestly. Like, I had a lot of people tell me, like, Vegas is crazy. Like, you're always going to have some kind of something on you to make sure you don't get into situations that are going to be unfortunate.
So you got him in the neck? Like, was it a graze, or was it a slit or a stab?
It was more like I described it as, I said stab when I talked to the police, but it was more like a poke. If I had to describe it.
A poke?
Yes.
With a knife? Okay.
Yeah.
How many times was it just a singular poke?
It was twice.
Twice, okay. Is he okay?
Yeah, he didn't go to the hospital. And
okay.
yeah.
He's fine.
I don't know if he's fine, but so
from my knowledge,
did you
penetrate
his skin?
Yes.
Did he bleed a lot?
How much was he bleeding? A lot?
Honestly, like, it's kind of hard for me to remember all the details. I'm still a little bit foggy from it, but from what I can remember, I don't think there was much.
Okay. So my understanding is that and I don't know at what point this occurred, in some of the news articles I wrote, it said that you were committed to a psych facility. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was in a mental health institution for 10 days.
Immediately after the attack?
No,
a week
before.
Oh, a week before the attack?
A week before, yeah.
A
week before I moved to Vegas, which would be 4 weeks before the attack.
Okay. So 4 weeks before the attack for 10 days. That's a very long time to be in a psych facility.
Correct, yeah.
What was your diagnosis?
Bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, and PTSD.
Okay, I see. And they gave you medications, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Did you stop taking the medications and then?
Yeah, and when I started talking more about my conditions and everything, I connected with a lot of people that had specific delusions that I also had. For example, I really thought that pills were kind of hurt my creativity, or I had a delusion that the pills were poison. So it wasn't that me consciously being fuck the pills,
right.
I'm not justifying it. I'm just providing context of that's what was going on in my mind, and that's why I really went off my meds, essentially.
And so there was a question of your competency.
Correct.
When it came to the criminal case, were you were deemed competent, correct?
After 3 weeks, yes.
After 3 weeks.
I couldn't remember what was happened after the event. I had to hear from my attorneys.
Okay.
And I had to be stable on that medication for 3 weeks for it to start working. It's not like you take a pill one day and it starts working.
But you didn't plead insanity or something like that?
No, I mean, there's a lot of legal jargon to it.
Sure,
I took a guilty plea agreement, so...
Yeah, you pled guilty?
Yeah.
Or was it no contest, or...?
It was guilty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because you can sometimes in a plea agreement, you plead no contest. So it's not necessarily an admission of guilt, but you plead... I don't know if it's nolo contendere and...
I've heard of it, but I don't... That wasn't...
Sure.
Yeah.
So you got... you didn't go to prison, though.
Okay.
You got 36 months of probation for attempted murder.
Actually, I like to correct that. My attempted murder charge was dropped, and my new...
Okay.
It was false imprisonment, which is what I'm...
But your initial charge was attempted murder.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
pled to 2 counts of false imprisonment, was
Correct.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna just say it. If you had been a man, if we reversed the genders, if you had been a man and you stabbed a woman on a date in the neck twice, if everything about your case was the same, but it had been a man doing it, he'd be in prison for a very, very long time.
I like to disagree.
You think so?
Yeah, because there's a lot of different factors that went into my case. I
Okay.
had zero criminal history. I
Sure.
graduated number 3 in my class, 4.0 in college from Berkeley. I had a very amazing family, educated. I come from a really good background, and
Sure. That doesn't...
I wasn't even I was not even suspended in school. Nothing dress code, nothing. So it was
Right,
all
but
mental health
that
issues
doesn't...
essentially.
All the things you listed, aside perhaps from your lack of criminal history, that doesn't really change the gravitas of
Whiskey
what
Squirrel
happened.
donated $100. Regardless of mental health, etc., pure failure of our government. Should have been deported back home by Homeland Security immediately. How is this
Gitmo,
psycho
that's
still here?
bit
Get
much.
that minimum.
I actually have a good response for this.
Sure, go ahead.
So I actually interviewed with Homeland, and they did a whole investigation on me.
Homeland Security?
Yeah, and
Okay.
you know, they're very good. I mean,
Sure.
they had everything. They had my
Yeah.
phone, everything I've ever searched in my life, like no doubt in their ways to investigate, and they
Right.
found zero evidence of anything tying me to terrorism or any organization or the guy that I named in that night.
Do you, so like, because I think I saw a couple things online, and some people want to paint you as a terrorist because you committed this act of violence on a U.S. citizen in the name as revenge for the killing of an Iranian general.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $100.
Butt plug assassin.
Disagree all you want, butt plug
We shouldn't
assassin
laugh, though.
Brian
We
is
shouldn't laugh.
right. If you had been a man, you would be in jail right now. Life literally on easy mode.
You said you had a specific response. Did you respond to the...
With the terrorism threats.
Yeah. Did you respond already, or?
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
I did,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, related to what Grid 1 Motorsports here say, in addition to what I already said, if it was a man in your position, exact same context, exact same circumstance, probably not getting 36 years of 36 months of probation, probably doing a prison sentence, and arguably charged as a terrorist.
Yeah, I would think you would need evidence to charge somebody with terrorism.
Well, the evidence is in the body worn
Just
camera
because
footage.
somebody says something in a manic state of point doesn't mean that they are actually associated with that.
That's
Let's just
fair.
say, for example, somebody's having a manic episode and they say some white supremacist stuff, and they don't even believe in that, but because they're in a manic state of point, they said that. You
I don't
can't-
know. I'm not an attorney in the state of Nevada, so I don't know what would constitute, or I'm not familiar with federal law, because I assume an act of terrorism would be that'd be prosecuted on the federal level. In any case, removing the terrorist component, I would say that a man in the exact same position stabbing a woman from a dating app, that motherfucker's going to prison.
Wait, when they test you for these like mental disorders, how do they know if you're faking it or not?
I mean, doctors that my attorneys recommended, and also the doctors from the state of Nevada, basically the prosecutors have also concluded that, as well as me being diagnosed with these conditions before the incident even occurred. So it wasn't that
when were you diagnosed?
Sorry?
When were you diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia?
At the mental institution that I was in at.
Okay, so it was like right before that happened when you like found out?
Right, so
Like the back buddy thing?
I got re-diagnosed back then, and as well as when I was 18.
Okay.
Because I had a traumatic event, let's just put it that way,
Yeah.
and so that kind of led to my PTSD, and 18 is whenever I first started hallucinating.
Female privilege.
How old
Just
are you
saying.
again?
23.
Okay.
You got a very light sentence, I think.
Well, I disagree.
I don't know. If you stab somebody with a knife, I don't care how clean your no criminal record, no criminal history, that's a prison sentence in Brian's sense of justice.
Well,
But the woke district attorney in Las Vegas disagrees, I think.
like I said, I think there's more facts to the case than just like no lack of criminal history.
Hold on.
But
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $100. Looks like I need to burn some more cash. Had you been a military-age male, you would be in a very dark place, not in a hospital. Own the fact that your sex gained you privilege, or STFU.
I stand
Do you have a
in my
response?
firm belief that it could have been any gender.
Sure.
And there's no evidence. You can guarantee me 100% that if the same case occurred with a different gender, it would have been a different circumstance.
Butler donated $99.
Oh my God, Jay
There is
Butler.
significantly higher rates of genital herpes infections for immigrants who commit violent crimes
Oh,
using
wow.
sharp objects. Look into it.
I did not know that statistics. That's Jay Butler. He's very big on the herpes conversation. He loves to bring it up. It's not here. You can't find it, Madison? Okay. Shit, I think I missed a couple of the chats.
For the record, I am clean, and I do get tested, but I don't believe that's very true.
Well, thank you for the clarification. Yeah. Madison, maybe it's in the... Can you look at the... here, just Madison, come back down. I'll find it. Oh, okay, whatever. Well, okay, Las Vegas, exact same hold on, I got some.
Modest Hikima donated $100. Major W. Bryan getting rid of disrespect. Imagine not straight to Gitmo because woman. But men have all the privileges, right? Because when I was younger I was essayed, I was able to claim mental health issues. What has this country come to?
I will say it's definitely a gynocentric justice system. You know, you often hear talks about, you know, there is a disparity in sentencing between men and women in the US. It's 8 times greater than the disparity in sentencing, which you often hear about this. The disparity in sentencing between white and black men in the US. You often hear these statistics that the comparison between white and black men being evidence of a racial bias or systemic racism, but the disparity is 8 times greater between men and women. And so, couldn't you make the argument then that there's systemic sexism against men because of the insane disparity? I think I have some stats here. Men as compared to women get 63% higher prison sentences. They're more likely to be sentenced given equal amount of evidence, more likely to be charged in the first place, more likely to be arrested in the first place, more likely to receive the death sentence, 20 times more likely to be killed by the police. So I definitely think it's a gynocentric justice system. I would say also, again, this is different. I don't know do you know who Jonathan I can't pronounce his name. Jonathan Copenhaver? Am I saying it right?
I do not recall.
War Machine? Nick, can you pull up the Wikipedia tab? This was in Vegas in the exact same county. Granted, he was charged with some different things. He's serving a life sentence for our kidnapping, domestic battery, and other charges. I think he was initially... Wait, Nick, can you pull it back up, actually? Can you scroll down? Scroll down a bit to the chart. Up. Just the charges here. Convictions. Okay, so he was not... Okay, he got a lot of fucking convictions there. He beat up his ex-girlfriend and another dude. Obviously very different. I don't want to do a comparison. He's doing life in prison with a possibility of parole after 36 years. Granted, again, his crimes were very different, but that's a pretty gnarly difference.
I do think that the case is very different, but also the fact that I did
Same district attorney though. Exact same, Las Vegas, I think, was it Clark County?
Correct.
Yeah, that was tried in Clark County. Life in prison. He beat up and assaulted his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend or whatever. Terrible crime. I'm not trying to bring levity to that.
And for the record, he did consent, and there was no SA in that situation.
Sure. What War Machine did, absolutely terrible. I don't know what's worse. I don't know, but this is a very different, in the same jurisdiction, in the exact same district attorney, you have 2 very different outcomes. Again, he might have had a bit of a criminal history. I don't know all the details. The crimes committed were different. What he did was very, very fucked up. But
and also, I just wanted to put it out there. with my mental health issues and what I said to the police, that's why they charged me with attempted murder. I asked my attorney, hey, like, if I didn't say those things afterwards, what would be my charges? And they said it would just be two battery charges because of what I said. They basically charged me with attempted murder, and burglary was because it happened at a hotel. So not providing justification for it, but I do think that because of my mental state of point and having a clean criminal history with my educational background, I volunteered a lot. I volunteered for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So a lot of impact on the community. And didn't have like a record on my,
Myers donated $99. There are dozens of cases you can find with a 5-minute Google search that disproves her feeling on the topic. There are niche cases where the man didn't got to jail, however majority received a minimum of 5 years sentence. Also, this looks like a trend, Lester.
I'm not sure what this looks like a trend last year? Is that what he's trying to say?
I'm actually not understanding what he's saying.
Well, I feel like perhaps it's not fair to me to compare it to the Jonathan, I can't pronounce his last, Koppenhaver War Machine thing, because very different crimes. I'd be curious to see, like, how the district attorney in Clark County in Las Vegas is charging, like, what the outcome is when it comes to sentencing for men who have who got charged initially with attempted murder, and if they also got off on probation. That's just what I'd be curious to know, but I don't know.
Yeah, again, I'm not an attorney, but I do know there was a news article by LV, like, Criminal Review. It was like a attorney's website where they explained the circumstances of the sentencing and the facts of my case and how that led to my sentencing specifically.
Okay.
So check it out.
I'm curious, at what point were you in a, like, I guess, sane state of mind to recognize what you did? Because, or I guess just like when that episode ended and you were just like, this is like when you finally realized what you did and that you weren't shooting movie scenes and stuff anymore.
Right.
Like,
so like 3 weeks into it, which is when I was released from jail because I was able to pass the competency hearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't really realize,
like, even when I was in
after
custody, I thought the movie scene just continued in jail and we're shooting Orange Is the New Black.
Oh, so. Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you believed you were, like, in a film the whole time?
Yeah, and every scene was different. For example, custody was Orange Is the New Black, and whenever we were in the hotel, I thought I was playing different roles. Whenever I was interrogated by the police, I thought I was playing Carrie from Homeland, and this is some kind of, like, spy movie I'm doing, and that's kind of why I said what I said. Obviously, it's not, like, I can't take my words back. It is what it is.